Welcome back, my friends. Today we're diving deep into a mystery that has intrigued humanity for centuries: the identity of the Antichrist and where he will rise to power. But hold on tight, because we're about to uncover a hidden date in an ancient clay tablet and a number woven into biblical prophecies that will point us to the exact day a world leader is predicted to appear. You won't believe how this all ties together, especially with the historical evidence that will make you rethink everything you've heard about the Antichrist. Before continuing, subscribe to the channel so we can reach 1,000 subscribers. With your help we can reach that milestone as quickly as possible. Now let's continue. The book of Revelation gives us a picture of two powerful figures who will rise to dominate the world in the end times. The first, often called the Beast, will wage war and bring the world under his control. The second is known as the false prophet, who will perform miraculous signs and push people to accept the notorious mark of the beast. Now, here's the critical question. Which of these figures is the Antichrist? Well, the Bible actually tells us that there are many Antichrists. The word Antichrist itself is a combination of two parts: anti meaning against or in place of, and Christ, referring to the anointed one, either Jesus or another anointed leader, such as a king or priest. Both of these figures, the beast and the false prophet, will work against Jesus Christ. Therefore, both can be considered antichrists. However, the false prophet will lead people to worship the beast, the world ruler, as if he were God, making him the figure most commonly associated with the title of the Antichrist. This world ruler will essentially take the role of a substitute Christ, just like Adolf Hitler saw himself as Germany's savior, claiming to have come to save the world. So the real question is, where will this world ruler come from, and when will he appear? We get a key clue about the Antichrist's rise from an unexpected source, an ancient prophecy found in the 50th chapter of the book of Jeremiah. In this prophecy, the ruler of the end times is symbolized by Nebuchadnezzar, the king of ancient Babylon. Now, Nebuchadnezzar was the ruler of Babylon more than 2,000 years ago, when Babylon was the most powerful empire the world had ever seen. But after his death, the Babylonian Empire fell, and the city of Babylon was eventually abandoned. So why does the Bible continue to refer to Nebuchadnezzar's Babylon in connection with the end times? That's because in biblical prophecy, the ancient Babylon and its king serve as a symbol, a metaphor, for a future leader and empire that will rise to power at the close of history. In the book of Revelation, this end times Babylon will dominate the kings of the earth. This represents a combination of political, economic, and religious power that will control the world in the final days before the return of Christ. And the ruler of this end times Babylon? He is the beast, or the Antichrist. To fully understand the timing of the rise of Babylon, we need to look at an enigmatic prophecy in the book of Daniel. In Daniel chapter 4, King Nebuchadnezzar has a strange dream about a giant tree that provides shade and sustenance to all creatures. But then the tree is cut down, and a band of iron and bronze is placed around the stump for a period of 7 times. When Nebuchadnezzar asks Daniel to interpret the dream, Daniel reveals that the tree symbolizes the king himself. The prophecy foretells that Nebuchadnezzar will lose his sanity and live like an animal for a period of 7 times. After that, he would regain his mind and return to rule over Babylon. At first glance, this prophecy seems to apply only to Nebuchadnezzar. But in the Bible, many prophecies have a dual fulfillment. The first fulfillment is often a symbol or foreshadowing of a much larger future event. So, what does this prophecy mean for us today? In the first fulfillment, the tree represented Nebuchadnezzar, and Babylon was without a ruler for 7 times. In the second fulfillment, we can interpret the tree as symbolizing a future ruler or even the kingdom of Babylon itself. But here's where it gets interesting. The 7 times mentioned in the prophecy refers to a period of 2,520 days. But what does this 7 times mean in the context of end times prophecy? In the book of Revelation, we find a parallel reference to this time period, a time times and half a time, which equals 3.5 years, or 1,260 days. If we double that number, we get 2,520 days, which represents 7 times. Now, here's the kicker. In many biblical prophecies, a day is symbolic of a year. This is seen in Ezekiel 4 verse 6, where each day represents a year of future judgment. So if each of these 7 times represents a year, then we can say that Babylon would be without a ruler for 2,520 years, a remarkably specific time frame. Now we need to pinpoint when Babylon fell and how this prophecy aligns with historical events. The fall of Babylon is recorded in Daniel 5, where the writing on the wall predicts the kingdom's downfall at the hands of the Medes and Persians. The exact date of the fall of Babylon is documented in the Nabonidus Chronicle, which states that on the 14th day of Tishri in 539 BC, the city fell. But this date is more than just historical, it's the key to understanding when the 7 times period began. Adding 2,520 years to the fall of Babylon in 539 BC brings us to the 14th day of Tishrei in 1982, which corresponds to October 1st on the Gregorian calendar. This, my friends, is when something extraordinary happened. On that exact day, the Chancellor of West Germany, Helmut Kohl, was unexpectedly appointed by the German parliament after a vote of no confidence, without an election. Let's step back and think about this. A major world leader was appointed on the exact day that the Bible predicted the rise of Babylon would begin again. But that's not all. 8 years later, on the same day, October 3, 1990, Germany reunified under Kohl's leadership. This marked the symbolic return of Babylon as a unified European power. Kohl also played a pivotal role in the formation of the European Union and the introduction of the euro, transforming Europe into a global economic powerhouse. In biblical terms, this is the re-emergence of Babylon from its roots in ancient Rome, Greece, and ultimately, Babylon itself. Now, let's clarify. Helmut Kohl was not the Antichrist, but his rise to power on the exact day predicted by Daniel's prophecy is an important clue about where the Antichrist will come from. The Bible indicates that a world ruler, the beast, will emerge from this reconstituted Babylon. And like Hitler, he may rise to power outside of Germany but eventually come to dominate Europe and the world. But the Bible also tells us that this beast will not rule alone. A false prophet will arise alongside him, using religion to deceive and control the masses. Together, they will be the figures that lead the world into the final battle between good and evil. So, what does all of this mean for the future? We are living in the final stages of a prophetic timeline, and the rise of a new world power, rooted in ancient Babylon, is happening right before our eyes. Stay vigilant. The Bible warns that many false prophets will come in the last days. The only way to avoid being deceived is to study the scriptures for yourself and understand the truth. As we continue to watch Europe grow in power, be alert to the rise of the beast. The Antichrist may not be here yet, but the stage is being set for his appearance. What will happen to the Americas, Russia, Israel, and other nations? How will they play a role in these end times events? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments. What do you think about these prophecies and their connection to modern events? Please keep the discussion respectful and open-minded. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's spread the knowledge and open the eyes of more people. Thank you for watching, and may God bless you all.